you. All right, you should all have a copy of the minutes of the October 2nd and October 10th meeting that you've had to review. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes as
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second?
discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You should have a copy of the bills, Mr. Treasurer. Do we have any additions or deletions?
We have one addition, it's a business card, it's a credit card. The amount of $3,260.11. It's for IEP expenses for trustee Batha, schooling expenses for the clerk, and schooling expenses for the electric department.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any motion to pay the bills as presented?
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second. Discussion.
Yes, I would like to table the two bills for the New York State Division of Homeland something or other here.
Security.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's cut off. Anyway, loan repayment for $82.97 and $13.25 until later in the meeting.
Those are dated 10/16.
Yes.
Okay. They're on page 3 of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th line down. So we'll be approving the bills with the exception of those two. Now, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's carried. We'll address those later. Do you have any correspondence? Madam Clerk?
We do not.
Okay, we have a pretty short agenda tonight. First thing we have is Local Law 3/2017 Cold War Veterans Exemption. You should all have copies of the memo that came with that. In 2008, some of the towns and villages in Clinton County passed a local law allowing veterans who served during the Cold War to receive an exemption from general municipal taxes for 10 years. The governor has recently signed legislation extending the Cold War veterans exemption beyond the 10 years. In order for municipalities to continue this exemption, a local law extending this must be done by December 1st, 2017, which is 90 days prior to taxable status date of March 1st. You'll see attached to that is the local law filing. So what we need to do is, first of all, have a motion to approve the extension of Cold War veterans exemption.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Discussion? Okay, all those in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Now, we need to set a date for the public hearing
Yes.
and authorize the clerk to advertise, or to serve notice that it's going to have to put it in the paper. What date do we have for, before the next board meeting? Is that when we should do it?
We can have it on the next board meeting.
Yeah, well, so we'll post as the public hearing at the start of the next board
Yes.
meeting. I don't imagine there'll be too much comment on this, and then we'll go from there. So, we need a motion to authorize the clerk to publish this local law filing in the newspaper.
So moved?
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Now, we have, Clinton County has finally gotten a hold of their vacuum trailer. This is, they received this, Clinton County Soil and Water Conservation Department. We, along with the other municipalities, provided a we provided a letter of support for that, as everybody else did. This has finally arrived. You can use it to clean out storm drains, mud, rocks, to suck that stuff all out. It's all pretty much self-contained. You can do it straight out of the tank or off that boom. They'll send an operator out the first time you use it, and once you've used it, Brian, they'll just leave it with you for as long as you need it. So it's available to everybody. It's a pretty neat tool, according to the district manager of the Clinton County.
That's under like that shared services?
Well, this is part of shared services, yeah.
Yeah.
But they got this through a Lake Champlain Basin program. We got a grant for that, and they notified all the towns and villages before, and so they said they'd make it available to us. and the time is now. So I also found out a couple other things about this department. They provide free hydro seeding. We have an area that needs to be seeded, a large area, they'll come and seed it for us. They'll also do help with bank stabilization, other things along the lake, like we were talking about maybe cutting down some of the brush that's along north of the sportsman's dock, in front of your house.
Next to, in front of the village park.
Right, well, we could, you know, they would come up and give us an idea about if we could put, you know, soil on top of that, or
Mhm.
whatever they wanna do, but it's all part of things they're asking for, so, anyway, I wanted to make sure, Mr. Pelkey had this, and, so we have one more tool at our disposal, and it doesn't cost anything, so always good.
Very nice.
Okay, on our website, we still have the public works maintenance position listed, but we have a deadline for submission of like September 9th or something. What do we wanna do? Do we wanna keep that on the website? Are we gonna and put open recruitment, or what do we wanna do? We received one application recently that civil service certified. I think you got that passed to you. So what are we gonna, do we wanna leave it on the website or what?
I don't, it's not doing any harm right now.
Well, we need to change the date. We say, just say
No, I
open
know.
recruitment?
I know it has to be done to extend it. I don't see any harm in extending it until we fill it.
Just put open recruitment.
Okay, so, or Sandy, just put open recruitment after we move the deadline date, okay? All right, good. Couple other things came up tonight. We had a sewer backup here at the rec center, and Public Works was called out, and it was that first manhole, right?
And it was for the service line.
You guys unplugged it, and so that was a pretty quick turnaround. And so far, the clerk tells me we've had a couple of inquiries on the Crown Vic, but they've got till Friday to submit bids, so we don't have those yet. So, plain and simply, that's where we're at right now. So I'm gonna ask Trustee Arnold, you got something for us on the ice stop?
Yes, up to the railroad station, went got a price from Casey Hardware to put the ice barriers up on the slate roof. And it's $1364.40 for the tabs to hold the ice, and the adhesive to hold them on is $664.50. Total of $2,028.90.
2,000, not 20.
$2,000.
$2,028.
Yep.
And you said they're gonna hook them right to they put adhesive on.
The reason why they said 3 rows, because it take a lot of the pressure off the snow and stuff like that. Instead of usually 1 row or 2 rows, whatever, 3 rows would be sufficient, and you put them nine inches apart, and they stagger them. Got to stagger them.
Now, is this gonna be all along the western edge?
Yep,
And is it gonna be over the door on the eastern edge too?
there's some there on that side now,
There already is.
yes.
Are they hooked to the slates?
Yep. But they're only about 1.5 inches high.
How high are these?
I think they're 3 inches high.
Well, what's your pleasure, gentlemen? Do you wanna entertain, doing this?
The village crew could, have to ask Mr. Palkey if they could put them on.
You ever done that?
No, but sure we can figure it out.
No,
What's the temperature of the glue? I mean, is the window of warm weather,
Yeah, you'd have to put them on warm weather.
like 70 degree or?
I don't think it's 70, I think it's gotta be at least 55, I think.
That'd be my only concern, is to get them up in a timely fashion here,
Yeah.
warm weather permitting.
I don't have any problem spending money on this, it's just, is this the best system there is, Benny, that you're convinced that this is the way to go on this? Or is this the only one that we've even tried to?
Well, that's the only one so far, but,
Do you wanna continue looking, or I know you're losing your window of weather here?
yeah,
That's the thing. We're gonna do it before winter.
yeah. But the thing of it is, you know, is if the snow comes down on somebody and we get a lawsuit, it's gonna cost more than $20,000 or $2,000.
You paid by insurance.
So whatever,
You
Well, I
know,
mean, that's where we go.
building's
Yeah.
been there 150 years.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not against this, I'm just saying, is this the right one, the one you're positive?
I don't know, I have no clue.
Well, it's only one, we only got one quote.
Right. The thing, I know some other places, like, well, on my garage roof, I have one solid one right straight across, but it's a tin roof, you know, it's not,
Yeah, they're slipping.
like the Legion has these on the Legion roof, and he got a tin roof, and it holds back the snow pretty good.
But you can anchor it securely on that tin, the tin's
Right.
not gonna move,
Right.
the slates are.
Yeah.
You know that already, because they've come off, you
Yeah,
know?
they come off, yeah, and it's a new roof, they
Yeah.
shouldn't come off,
No, they should.
Regardless, they do.
yeah. Well, the other one was it since they're from 1850, I mean, 1860.
Yeah, that one was put on right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell. I'll tell you.
I don't either, you guys, it's up to you. If you wanna spend the money, you'd have to take it out of the building fund, Mr. Treasurer, is that right?
Yep.
Do we have it?
I'll either that or I can look around and go to different places and stuff and see. Well, we can go for another week or so, whatever, hey, you know?
See, if I
But
wonder,
glue, yeah. You're gonna glue it on, you're gonna be pushing
Yeah.
with the weather, it's supposed to be nice this week.
Well, it's been there for 5 years now, so. You know,
hasn't fallen any.
Is there
Slate's
anything-
almost got somebody,
right, yeah,
but the snow hasn't.
yeah. So, well, whatever.
What's your pleasure? Trustee Dart, you got any ideas on this? You?
I'll be looking into it a little more or what, or,
Did you have any idea how long the village crew would be tied up in this?
oh, I think they could do it in a day.
Day.
Well, morning, I bet you.
Yeah, morning, yeah, they,
Just gonna go up there with a bucket and just glue them on, right?
yeah. Or skits or just go through with, and then skits or bucket or whatever, I don't know, or however, ladder or
Put a
something.
bucket on that, thing with the extending boom,
Yeah,
they got that platform on it.
I'd
yeah.
like to see an alternative to this, not that this is a bad idea, I just want to have something to compare it to.
Right, okay.
Is there anything that you could get that we wouldn't have to put on the roof? I mean, could we, look into something, maybe some kind of gutter or something, like, I mean, I don't want,
Well, there's 2 feet of tin, or 18 inches of tin, or copper, that's up on the,
You can glue it to that,
on the first part of it and stuff, instead of gluing it on the slate.
that would work. Gluing it to
What if we got like about 20 of these things and glued them on that part and tried them for the winter and see how they work, just a
Or
small
just a
part?
strip, like, just a strip, like.
Yeah,
like
just to
you have
see,
in the garage,
just to see how they
it's
held
metal.
on and stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
You could put
like
it,
you said, not, even if you don't go a 3-inch, go down.
Oh, they only make them 3 inch.
well, no, I'm talking about, instead of getting the individual ones, just get a, the regular strip,
Right.
because if you put it on the copper,
You put it over a door or something, you
Yeah.
wanna protect it, and try it for a winter and see if it sticks on there, because
they carry those over there, the strips?
Mhm.
What's it
I
cost?
just hate to see it put on.
Oh, I don't know,
the
it's
slate,
a-
pull
it's
the
a-
slate roof off.
It's I think they're coming 10-foot lengths, I think.
Well, you wanna authorize them to, spend up to what? Is $500 gonna get a few pieces of that stuff? I mean,
Oh, yeah, they're not expensive. Not expensive, and we could say, we could probably, glue that onto the tin, onto the copper.
we wouldn't need it that much glue.
Oh, no,
We need
no.
12 of them.
No, well, like I said, I don't,
Right.
Stephen really didn't know how much glue these would work, or how many, I think he said probably one tube would fill, I think 12 or 14, I think.
So with a strip, it'd probably take care of most of it,
Yeah,
a couple tubes, so it's probably gonna be less than $500. You wanna authorize them to get that strip, to try that out this year?
what do you think, Mr. Coffey?
It'll be just one strip across the copper.
I use the strips myself, and they average about $15 each for a 10-foot length.
Yeah, so it's a lot less expensive, and I think it's just as effective. It
Sure.
works in your garage.
Yep.
I make a motion that we
Mm-hmm.
authorize Mr. Arnold to spend up to $500 on the
Okay, we have a motion, trustee Arnold's gonna purchase,
I'll second it.
ice strip protection, whatever we're gonna call it, snow protection.
Yeah,
You know,
Up
try
to
it.
$500.
Yeah, you wanna try it for this year, and then expand
Yeah.
it next year if it works, or
Yeah.
try something different
Okay.
next year if it doesn't?
Good.
sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, trustee Arnold, you're on your way.
Okay, Mr. Coffey, can you tell me, Is there something wrong with the hydrant on Pearl Street? Corner of Pearl and Maple? There's one up there that bags or something?
It's been repaired.
Oh, that's been repaired?
The
Oh,
nut on top was split,
oh,
was broke off.
okay,
That's been repaired.
all right. When something like this happens, can you leave a note for the fire chief? Like if you have a broken one or whatever?
Yeah, we usually bag them and we try to fix them within 24 hours,
Oh, okay, all right.
especially,
That one, yeah, that one's a really main one on that street.
we usually, like I said, we put an out-of-service bag on them and we try to get them repaired as soon as possible.
Okay,
But I can always leave Mike a note.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Also, I see there's a lot of brush out and stuff like that. I think, could we take and, instead of next year having the village crew pick it up, have the people bring the brush down to the,
Well, I already talked to Mr. Pelkey about that, and he feels that it's just not, there's no way to control it. People don't just bring, you end up with trunks and everything else down there, it just doesn't work.
you know?
You know, I mean,
Well, some of the places I've seen that, they got pretty good size, they're bigger than that flower basket right there.
Well, they won't pick it up. It's 3 inches and down. That's it.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's,
Yeah.
3 inches
Yeah.
and down, you stay there, they go.
Mhm. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Is that it?
No, I also want to ask Mr. Palkey if he can clean around the smoke trailer a little bit more, like push some of the dirt banks when we have our training over there for fire department. If they could clean that up a little bit on, you know, on spare time, you know, rainy day or something like that or whatever. Because we've been training over there quite a bit and stuff, the fire department has, and they bring in other fire departments and stuff, and it's hard to get around there and stuff, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for tonight, that's
Thank
it.
you. Okay, trustee Dart?
I have nothing tonight.
Okay, trustee Menard?
Same here, I have nothing for this evening.
Trustee Baffa?
Okay, I have, the one issue that I have is, we have to make a loan payment of $9,622 on the 20-year fire truck loan. So I researched the history of it and figured out how much we could save and if we should sell it off, or if we should pay it off. And basically what they did is in 2002, they borrowed $150,000 at 2.5% for 20 years. I don't know why it was 20 years, but they picked 20 years. And that has cost us, or will cost us, when the loan is done, $42,000 in interest on that one loan. Then they had another loan for the same truck of $203,500 for 10 years, and that one cost $56,851 in interest. So for this one fire truck, that for some reason they borrowed the money instead of paying cash for it, like the previous 6 trucks were, the village has paid $99,000 in interest.
You've already paid that.
Yeah. Well,
So we got.
we're right at the tail end of it now, and we can pay the loan, we can make the $9,622 payment for another 6 years, or we can pay $54,325 and pay it off and be done. And this year, we've cut a lot of spending that was already budgeted in this year's budget. More than enough that's adequate to pay this off, and I recommend that we pay the entire loan off and retire that debt. Now, there's a little talk before the meeting opened that, well, what if we need the money for something, or we've already paid most of the interest, we're only gonna save $4,733 in interest. And I guess the way that I would put it is, when you have a cash surplus like we do right now in the general fund, do you really wanna borrow $54,000 for another 6 years and pay interest on that?
But we're not paying interest on
No,
it.
yeah, you are, you're gonna pay $4,733 to have
As
it for
opposed
6
to what
more
we had
years.
before though. I mean, it's mostly principal that we're paying on.
Right, but doesn't matter, you're still borrowing money for something that you don't need to borrow it because you have the cash to pay for it right now. You can say, you know, it's unfortunate that this wasn't addressed 10 years ago, and we would've saved a lot of money.
Well, we have a public safety budget that when we abolish the police department, we have that, so public safety, we could
Right.
take it out of that maybe.
That's my recommendation. Retire that loan, and that's gonna give the next 6 budget that we do for the village, it's gonna give them almost 10 grand a year extra in the general fund.
So I guess, once there's other discussion, I guess, or anybody has any questions they wanna ask me about it.
Do you wanna make a motion?
Well, that's what I was gonna do, is make it, when
We'll
we're
have a
ready.
discussion after we have a motion.
Okay, I move that we retire that loan to the sum of $54,325.73.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion.
What do you think, Arson?
What do I think?
Yeah?
What you're gonna save is $3,408.02 for the fiscal years 2018 and 2022 in interest. That's what you're gonna save.
So it's not much money, and $10,000 extra in the budget is.
Why wouldn't you pay it off? Why would you continue to borrow money when you got a
Well,
surplus
you
money?
already borrowed it.
Yeah, and you can stop borrowing it now. You still have the loan outstanding, and you're still paying interest on it.
That's what, you guys decide if you wanna do that.
I think it's a pretty good idea.
I just think that this is a good year to do it fiscally.
Yeah.
You have the extra
We've
money.
eliminated a couple
from the police
departments.
department.
What's
You
that,
have
Arson?
I said you have the extra monies from the police department,
I think that's a good idea.
because you eliminated the police department, but I mean,
Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
So we need, Mr. Treasurer, you don't need anything else other than that motion to do that, right? Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any other reports?
I do not this evening.
Mr. Treasurer?
I just want to report that the clerk and myself have been working on proposals to update our website. This is a budgeted item, we have $10,000 in the budget for it. We have 4 different proposals. We are moving forward with the company. One of the reasons we're doing this is because we need to be ADA compliant, and they have improved the software that allows people to update the website a lot easier and stuff, so we're definitely gonna be within the $10,000, so I just wanna let you guys know that we are moving forward with that.
Okay, good. Mr. Puckey?
Yes, I have a meeting tomorrow in the water plant with AES. They're coming up to hammer out the final details, order the skid units for the chlorine and the auto dialer. Meeting's at 8 o'clock. If anyone wants to attend, you're welcome. The engineers will be up. So we'd like to get a timeline of when we're gonna turn that pump on.
Have they spec'd out the correct chlorine skid units for us yet?
Yes, but I want them to tell us, well, what they did is they give us like 3 options, and I want them to tell us what our best option is for what we're doing at this point in the meeting, you know, to make sure it's the right option. I don't want them to come back, I don't want them to come back in 6
The
months and
purpose
say,
being that, you don't wanna buy one and then come back, and say, you should have bought this one.
Right.
You're gonna say, give us your recommendation, and we're gonna follow it.
right,
Period.
because they know what our long-term goal is
Right.
here, so.
Right.
You
And
said-
once that's done and you start the project, how long do you think it'll take to put the second pump in and?
Well, once we hammer out a few details tomorrow morning, we're gonna be calling Tim Emmerich, the one that sold us the pump. He's
Yeah.
gonna come up and start the pump that we installed.
Okay,
The controls are just about set. He does the actual wiring of it and the setting up.
are we gonna start installing the second pump?
No, we're gonna start that pump to make sure it works,
Okay,
and then we're gonna rip the second pump out.
okay,
We're gonna put that pump online.
all right.
We're gonna fill the pit and,
You anticipate though that if that runs well, we're gonna start on the second pump replacement,
yes,
probably within a month?
no, within a week.
Okay.
Within, by next week, we'll be on the other project.
Okay, good.
So every guy that comes up for the pump, he's gonna come up within the next couple of days then?
Yes, well, he's just waiting for, I had him scheduled to come up before we got shut down, and he's ready. He
Yeah.
knows we're ready for it.
Okay.
So we have all the materials on hand for the second pump? Or pretty
Yes.
much?
Pretty much, yes.
Excellent job.
What else you got? Is that it?
We're just finishing up some of our projects out there. We're working on the storm drains on Smith Street, which was a budgeted item, so we're trying to get them out from the sidewalks and inside the sidewalk and put them on the edge of the road where they belong. So that's what we're doing up there. We got some more patchwork paving to do So if there's any places you see in the village that you want done, let me know. We'll put them on the list. The blacktop plant, we figure it's gonna be closing probably around November 15th to the 20th, somewhere in that area.
Also, I'd like to thank the street crew for doing blacktopping up to the railroad station. Did a
Said
good
if
job.
there's any other areas that you see, I see the county came through today and sprayed all the crosswalks for the bike path and bicycle little emblems on Maple and
Pratt Street,
Pratt Street.
the church.
It'd be nice to get them to come back next year, see if we can freshen up some of our crosswalks like on Montgomery Street and
Yeah.
maybe put a letter into the state and have them do the ones on Main Street again. We're due.
Yeah.
It looked like they contracted that out, right? That was a contractor doing
Yes.
all that.
Yeah, it's all reflective.
Yeah, another task, so.
Just a reminder, Brian, we are, for everybody, we are picking up next week,
Yes,
fall pickup next week.
all picked up.
23rd, 27th. That it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask if anyone wants to make any comment to the board.
Yes, I would, Dan.
Go ahead, sir.
This is for everybody's information only. Dan, representing the Youth Commission, came up with our Santa Claus and Jan and Linda, and we found out that our contract between the town and the village was dated 1984, which of course we weren't afraid of. I think Arson probably researched that. We had a good meeting. Everybody had all kinds of ideas and things. Dan came up with what I thought was an outstanding plan. I'm a resident of the village of Rouses Point, and the village wasn't getting their fair share. The town wasn't paying their fair share. We're working out the details now, but bringing that to our attention so we can make this thing more equitable between the town and the village was an excellent move on the mayor's part, and of course Arson. I just want to thank him for that, but it's only for information. We haven't done the details yet. Arson's supposed to be writing it up for us, but I just want you guys to know that the guys are on the ball here.
Thank you, Scuba.
Thank you.
All right, well, make a motion,
I make a motion to adjourn.
recess. No, we're just gonna recess. 'Cause we're
Okay,
going into
recess.
executive
Second?
Discussion, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And we're going to be going into executive session after the room is cleared out. But I guess we're just gonna have to ask you, Woody.
Wow.
You don't want to be called in.
Okay, so we're gonna take her that matter.
And they have questions signing on, whatever, they can always call me. Thanks, John.